Then, and the management of Libas joining in. They've recently secured 150 crores in funds. We have Sidhant Keshwani, who's now joining us to give us more perspective. So tell us a little bit more. You're looking at growing your presence in terms of stores, 150 crore rupees. Where will the funds be utilized?
So essentially, we started as a D2C brand back in our retail journey started sometime in 2014, and we were essentially bootstrapped up till now, and we were majorly into e-commerce. However, we started with our omni-channel strategies sometime about 1.5, 2 years back, where we started opening a few stores. We did a few shop-in-shops, etc. And then we realized that we wanted to position ourselves as a brand into a truly omni-channel brand and not just an online brand, and hence we decided to kind of raise our first round majorly to drive two things. One was, of course, to open new stores, cover more geographies across India, and the idea is to open about 150, 200 plus stores over the next 2.5 years. And the other thing was to deploy the funds to majorly, improve the tech side of the supply chain as well as our e-commerce and D2C website as well.
Sure, and I understand that it was in FY24 that the company reached the 500 crore mark in terms of revenue. So what are you penciling in over the next 2 to 3 years?
So this year we are projecting to grow at somewhere around 40 to 45%, and the idea is to reach a revenue of somewhere around 1,000 crores over the next 2 years.
And what about demand from metro cities? What is the pace of growth that you're looking at in metros versus non-metros?
So we feel that for a brand who's fairly penetrated the metros over the last few years, even though metros are going to be a very high priority for us when it comes to the offline and store expansion. However, uh, we feel that the next level of growth now for the country overall on a category level will be really coming from smaller towns, tier 2, tier 3 cities. And it's well in line with our plan for the next 2 years that even when we are currently planning our new stores, the idea is to first, of course, target the metros, create some aspiration for the brands. People already know the brands there. We are like really well received across metros. However, we are using a lot of data from our uh, e-commerce channels, starting from marketplaces to our own website to see where in those smaller towns should we be first, and that is really helping us in our decision making to kind of do our store expansion in tier 2 and tier 3 cities. We have a very positive outlook towards tier 2, tier 3 cities. In fact, we've seen a trend post COVID where, in fact, 40-45% of our sales now are coming from smaller towns, tier 2, tier 3 cities, as compared to, like, say, only 15 to 20-25% before COVID.
And I know you have an omni-channel presence, so tell us a little bit more about growth on the e-commerce channels.
So, I mean, being in the e-commerce space, we are fairly large. I would say that we are fairly top two, three in terms of revenue when it comes to the e-commerce side of the business. And we feel we've captured a fairly big market share, and now we've reached a stage where we are growing as the market is growing, and we are growing at an average of about 25-30% year on year when it comes to the e-commerce side. But we feel that majority of our growth, if we really want to grow at 60, 50, 60, 70% year on year, offline was an obvious choice for us. And we are doing a lot of newer initiatives, starting from launching newer categories. We just launched kids. We're planning to launch a few accessories and footwear as well to kind of fuel our e-commerce growth.
Good to have you on board. Thanks so much for joining in.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.